I really like that color. I do. I'm going to put a little bit of it right back in this area. See, that gives you depth. Now what we're doing now, actually we're adding detail to the whole painting. And a lot of this will be covered up with our highlight colors, but this color is what makes your highlight colors look so good. And also I'm creating the way the land is laying. It's, you can see little hillsides coming down. I love to do that. And the dark color is what makes your highlights look so good. And we've got a lot of dark color in this one. And I like that. I'm not sure if this will be water or a little road. We'll decide later. Now we've put a whole bunch of dark color on there. And that's created a lot of dark on the painting, which needs to be highlighted, and we'll do that. Okay, I'm going to you know what I think we need? I like that overall, but I see a little spot I'm going to have to pull out a little bit. Like that. I tell you what, let me get a smaller flat. What I would like to do is put some kind of, let's get this one right here. That looks like a good size. I'm going to rinse it out, dry it. Now we've got a whole area of vastness. Let's see if we can put something in it that, let me mix up some color first. Yellow, red, a little more red, let's see what that does now. Clean that off just a little bit. Now I'm going to go in there and fill this brush up good. Okay. Watch this. Now you can do this with a palette knife or a brush. Actually, what we're building here is maybe a little barn or something. This side will be a little darker. Love to put these buildings in. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Yeah. I'm going to grab a little white because I want to highlight this side just a little bit more. Now what you can do to make some boards, if you want to, you can turn your brush sideways and just come in, zap, zap, zap. It helps you if you're a little steady. That's a big old barn, isn't it? Now, I've got a sort of a dry brush. Let's see if that's too much for the front. Okay, now we've got it started. Now we can put on a roof. We can put on a clear tin roof or rusted. Let's put on, what do we want? What do we want? Tell you what I'm going to do first. Pick up a little of that blue. Zap. Come back, zap. Now what I've done, I've mixed a lot of color in there with it. So I'm just going to go in, scrape a little bit of it out. Beautiful. Now, that old brush don't want to clean very good. Let me hit it on the side. That takes a little of the paint out. Okay, I'm going to grab another brush. This one right here. That's a beautiful brush. We've got a lot of brushes, so we don't have to worry about cleaning them all the time. Now this is a one-hand painting. By that I mean your detail in it won't be as true as if you laid your palette down and picked up your maul stick. But you know what? We like it the way it is. Right across the ridge. Whap! Sort of like that. Sort of like that. Now we can come back later and put all kinds of detail in there if you want to. And you put highlights on it. What it needs is some windows and doors. Let's see, is that going to be a barn or a house? Which would you like? We can do it either way. I'm going to get a smaller brush. That's a good one, but right here's the one I want. Rinse the oil out a little bit. Now you can make a door, let's see, let's make it a house. You want to? That'll create a little more interest. In order to do that, let's put a chimney in. Where would you want the chimney? Right here? Now I'm going to grab the little brush and do the back side of the chimney. Hope you can see that. And we need some shadows under here, don't we? Yeah. We need some windows. We could make them dark. Let's make them dark to start with. I thought we might put a little rust on the roof. They need to paint it again, maybe, huh? Okay, now, you know, on the front of the house, let's put a little porch there. Now I'm trying to keep this sort of straight, if you notice what I'm trying to do here. Okay, there needs to be a door there, and let's make that door red. Okay. Now I think what we'll do, probably should put a little roof over that maybe, don't you think? If you notice what we're doing, we're building a painting as we go. You could sit down and you could draw all of this out if you wanted to, but somehow to me, this is just so much more fun just to start painting and just build it as you go. I'm not sure how to make that. Could make it. That way. Got so much color in my brush here. Okay, we've almost got it, haven't we? Let's put a banister there. A lot of this stuff you can do after you finish your painting. You can come back after it's dry and take a small brush, which really creates interest. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make steps here. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm getting so much mess here. There's your little banister. Now probably later on maybe we can come back and put some little railings and pieces in that. But so far, I like it pretty good. Got little steps there. I'm going to have to move some of these brushes, looks like. Okay, we've got our little house pretty well built. It's not totally finished yet, but one thing we probably should do is try a little shadow right here, if we can get that in there. There you go. Pretty close. Now we've got a lot of our detail in there. I think what I'm going to start doing now is putting a little bit of higher highlights in the background. In order to do that, we need some light, beautiful color. Now, about used up all my yellow, one pile of it completely. Now this color, you don't have to mix it really good, because if it's different colors, it even makes it look better. Okay, in order to, the sun started hitting that way, so I want a little bit solder in here. A little bit right here. I'm trying to get just the edge of the bank. And by the way, this is going to be a little road, I think, come around in behind the house. And it looks like it's, at this point, grass is growing up in there. We'll have to take some of that grass out probably. But if you notice what it's doing, it's creating a little knoll on the other side of the little road, where it comes right down in to the little road and back up on this side. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, I'm going to add just a little bit over here. And that'll be a lot lighter when I get through now, because I want that really bright right there in that area. But I want to add a little bit of this. Just a little bit in the background here. Because I'm going to come back and we might put a tree or a tree stump in here or something, a dead tree or something. I'm not really sure. Now if you notice on our house also, what I try to do is keep it as straight as I can. In some cases, it gets a little bit off, but you can always go back and just straighten it up just a little bit. Now this is just a little highlight here. Just the starting of our highlights. And this bank will come over the edge. I've got about a minute, so I'll show you a little bit of that. And what we'll do is make this bank come over the edge of the and the way we're doing that, we're taking the brush and laying it down and curving it. In other words, this bank is higher than that one. And I'm going to come in here with a lot of highlights. To brighten our picture up. And we probably won't put real bright highlights everywhere, but we'll put them maybe where the sun's coming through. The rest of it will be in the shadow. Got about a half a minute here, so we'll keep working just a few minutes longer. Now if you see this is really standing out compared to this. I'm going to put some over here, but I'll try, most parts they won't be quite this bright. They'll be a little bit lighter. But anyhow, come back next week and be with us, and we'll do a little more work on our picture here. So glad you could join us today. Remember, call the number on the screen if you want to get a copy of some of our prints. And tell everybody about our show. We love meeting you folks. If you have any comments, or just call us and tell us. Goodbye and God bless. Hey everybody, welcome again. We appreciate you stopping by, and hope you're painting along with us. And we're doing a limited palette, but if you're not, well, just sit back and relax and enjoy. And what I mean by limited palette, we're mixing the colors instead of putting a lot of them out. Normally I use about 8 different colors. Today we've got 4 colors in white. Everything in the world is made up of those colors. And as you can see on the palette, you can mix about any color you want. Well, you mix any color you want with those 4 colors. So anyhow, I hope it helps you to mix your colors, and also hope it helps you to enjoy your painting. The main thing I think is to enjoy it. Now, I was talking last week about drawing things. I love to draw. I'm from old school, so I learned to draw before I could paint. So I can draw about anything, but you can do it with a brush too. And the fun with this type of a painting, which we call it wet on wet, is that you create it as you go. In other words, you actually draw it with a brush instead of using a pencil to do your sketch with. But either way that works good for you, I use that way, because main thing is to enjoy it. And we really enjoy it. Now last week we left you, we actually was putting a few highlights in here, maybe a bunch of flowers and stuff. I'm going to put some more greenery in there. And over on this side now, we haven't done a whole lot of extra work. So we need to come over there maybe and put a few highlights up in that area. In order to do that, I'm going to get a little bit bigger brush, and the reason I'm going to do that is simple, because I can move more color around with a bigger brush. I'm going to try to clean it out as well as I can. Now, first of all, though, I'm going to mix some color. I'm going to grab my little mixing. This color is beautiful. but it may be a little too light for there. So I'm going to grab this color right above it. This is the color I want to use first. Now all of these colors are mixed with the colors that are on the palette. Now this color, of course, is blue and yellow. Now you can put a little white in there. It tones it down, frosted a little bit, but white is a good color. I'm going to go in here and just pick up some of this color on this big old brush. Just fill it up really good. Then I'm going to go to this side of the canvas. Now first of all, I've got some trees back in here. I'm going to add just a touch. I don't want much on them. And that's the perfect color for it. Now at the bottom, I'm coming in and actually putting the lay of the mountainside in. And you got to keep a lot of color on your brush because the color under it picks up. And if you notice when you go back, you'll have some of that, whatever color's under it. In this case, it's a dark brown. But all these colors now are mixed. Every color that's on the painting is mixed with the four colors, the four basic colors. So if you want to start painting, just get your four colors. And later on, you can buy about any color in the tube, and which I like to do because it makes your life a little easier because you don't have to mix so much. You can just grab a tube up and put a little on your palette and go to work. But a limited palette is a lot of fun because it makes you actually create your own colors. Now I'm going to go over here and just put just a little bit up in that tree. And a little bit along the top of the bank here. Now I purposely left this a little dark right here because we're really going to highlight this area in a little bit later. Now we've got most of our what I call base undercoat greens on there. A little bit back in this hill here, just a little bit. I'm going to leave that white in there because I like that sort of the mist or the fog or something coming down out of the mountains. Now I'm going to clean my brush out a little bit. Now I'm going to pick up my little flat here. I like the interest that's created there, but I think I want something over here. Maybe we could put another little house if you wanted to. Let's do that. Let's put something right in here. Maybe could be the smokehouse or it could be a neighboring house. I'm not sure. Now what color do we want that house? I don't know. White? Now we've got so much color on that, I'm going to try to wipe some of it off. Now, this front of the house should be lighter. And what I'm really doing here, I'm actually just trying to scrape a little color off. Now, I might not be able to get it as white as I want it with this brush. So, let me pick up my palette knife. I should be able to get a little whiter with this. I think I'm just going to pull that over this way. Now I'm just building a little house here. And I'm building it with the palette knife. That's pretty good. That looks sort of like a stucco house, doesn't it? Now, I've got a little off-white here. You may need a little more than that. Let me see. Where can I mix it at? Here. Let's see how that looks. Pick up a little roll. Now I'm actually trying to get my, which I haven't mentioned any of this to you this week, but perspective is really, really important when you're, especially when you're building, putting buildings on your painting. And what I'm trying to do is get my perspective right, make it sort of fit on the hillside, in other words. This is probably a stucco house. Well, I'm going to wipe that off. Need to get a little color here. Maybe that'll do it. That's perfect. Now I'm actually just sort of raking the palette knife backward there. Let's see if we can get a little more of that color mixed. Something close to it. Yeah, perfect. Now, the roof on this house, let's make it a tile roof. You want to? Being that it's got a tin roof, this is a stucco house, so let's put a red tile roof on it. You want to? Let's see how this looks. Might need to orange that up just a little bit, but let's put this color on first. Now, I was talking about perspective. This area should be smaller than this area. This area back here is a lot smaller than this area. That gives us a perspective, make the house look like it's laying back and more realistic. So what we got to do here now is basically just start right there. Come back to about right along there. I'm trying to get a little line there all along the edge. Sort of like that. This line has got to be at a good angle. Sort of like that. Now I'm just sort of putting a little detail in there, but just real lightly. And here I'm trying to just get a line for the roof line. Sort of like that. Now on the other side, one like that. Okay, basically, that's it.